Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle. Thank you for joining us tonight. The conspiracy of dunces. That's the focus of tonight's angle. You know it's bad for the Trump hush money prosecution when the New York Times feels compelled to publish a piece calling out the case's weakness. Jed Sugarman, a law professor at Boston University, called Alvin Bragg's case a historic mistake, writing, "Their vague allegation about a criminal scheme to corrupt the 2016 presidential election has him more concerned than ever about their unprecedented use of state law and their persistent avoidance of specifying an election crime or a valid theory of fraud. Oh, that's all." Now, beyond that, he rightly notes that it is legal for a candidate to pay a non-disclosure agreement. Pay for a non-disclosure agreement. Hush money is unseemly, but it is legal. All right, bottom line here. As honest, objective legal minds have concluded, the underlying conduct alleged, if anything, is a violation of federal campaign finance rules. But one little problem with that. The FEC looked at the case years ago and decided against pursuing it. Now, from day one, Alvin Bragg was a man on a political, not a legal mission. It was to charge Trump with whatever just to keep him in court, maybe get lucky and get a conviction. The truth is, the underlying conduct doesn't even merit a misdemeanor charge because there's no intent to defraud without a federal crime in this case. This is a political hit job being run by one of Biden's DOJ's former top officials. Are we to actually believe that the lead prosecutor, Matthew Colangelo, just so happened to land this job at this time by accident? All right, one of the former top officials in the Biden DOJ, this has Biden's fingerprints all over it, and it's all a sloppy mess to boot. Colangelo's trying to convince the jury that the case is about a criminal conspiracy and a cover-up. Trump, David Pecker, and Michael Cohen, former Trump attorney, formed a conspiracy, he argued, to influence the election. Well, this guy's a piece of work. Colangelo should be sanctioned for trying to argue that there's a conspiracy here when he never charged Trump with a conspiracy. You can't prove this case without proving the facts on federal election law. And this is not a big revelation to any of you, but state courts have no jurisdiction over federal election law matters. I think it's becoming clear to all of you now. Plus, if they were going to start charging conspiracies to affect an election, I have a question. Why wasn't Hillary Clinton and Fusion GPS charged under that same theory? The setup, the surveillance of Trump, the salacious and unverified Steele dossier, all of it. For goodness sakes, $1 million went from the Clinton campaign and the DNC to a law firm, Perkins Coie, that funneled it to Steele, who then dug up the dirt. That was real election interference, my friends. And if there's any conspiracy here, it would be, I don't know, kind of reasonable to find one inside Biden world, where somehow one of Merrick Garland's top dogs wound up in Bragg's office as lead counsel against Trump. By the way, as their media co-conspirators are right there with them in the echo chamber. Now listen for the word conspiracy and scheme.
The testimony you're already hearing about a catch and kill, about a pattern of behavior, about this trying to influence an election. That's where you want this jury focus for this witness.
Pecker's very important witness because he's at the center of the scheme to influence the election.
This was a conspiracy to help Donald Trump win the election.
Again, there's no evidence of a scheme or a conspiracy. If there was, we know darn well that Bragg could have charged it. He would have charged it. Or the FEC or the DOJ would have charged it. But let's not lose the forest for the trees here. Although Colangelo and Bragg, of course they want a conviction. They're going to consider the case successful if it hurts Trump in November. Take him off the trail for, 6 or 7 weeks, exhaust him. Any of us would be exhausted just for being forced to sit there day after day. That is a victory for the left. But this may be wishful thinking. Today, Trump did some remote campaigning outside the courtroom.
It's a big day in Pennsylvania, and we hope the people get out there and vote. It's important to vote to let them know that we're coming on November 5th. We're coming big. Maybe they'll think also about a very good person who's running for the Senate in Pennsylvania, Dave McCormick. So Pennsylvania, get out and vote.
I love the fact that he pushed for Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania. Smart move. But the reality here is ugly. Donald Trump is on trial in Manhattan, not for what he did with his checkbook before the 2016 election. He's on trial because he beat Hillary Clinton in 2016, and now they're really worried that he could beat Biden, too. So if I were Trump, I'd lean into this and out-campaign Biden right in his own backyard. Why not a Tuesday night rally in Scranton?
Scranton fills me with enormous pride. My mom didn't live in Scranton permanently since 1954. I swear to God, whenever she was asked, no matter where we were, Mrs. Biden, where you live, where you from, she said, Scranton. Do you know anybody who's from Scranton that still doesn't brag about being from Scranton?
Yeah. I simply don't know how Trump can possibly match that energy and that excitement. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.